Instructor.
Thank you, sir. Bow to beginner students. Well, all right. Cool. Let's do a little bit of breathing, deep breath, relaxation to begin. Separate the feet comfortably apart. Place one hand over the other. Press gently, allow your eyes to close. Breathe in deeply. Feel the abdomen expand. Breathe out slowly. Let the abdomen release back in. Begin to imagine the cascade of relaxation that flows down the body. Allow the face to relax. Relax the jaw, the neck. Feel the upper back relax. Feel the chest relax. Let the relaxation flow to the shoulders, arms, and hands. Feel the stomach relax and the lower back relax. Loosen through the waist. Relax the hips. Relax thighs, backs of the legs. Allow the relaxation to flow into the knees with a feeling of softening. Feel that relaxation travel to the lowest parts of the body. Relax the ankles, calves, the feet. See how many of all those tiny bones in the feet you can feel and relax around. For a few more breaths, if you notice tension pop up anywhere, see if you can just let it go. Release, lower the hands over the eyes, separate the feet shoulder width apart. Round through the body, sink down, circle the arms in front, sit back. See if you can round your knees out and sit back enough that you feel your weight become concentrated in heels and outside edges of the feet, without the feet rocking up or leaving the ground at either the inside or the toes. Relax the ankles again if they became tense. Tuck the pelvis. See if you can feel the tucked pelvis as sort of a support for your abdominal breath, whatever that means to you. Relax through the waist again. Relax shoulders and elbows down. Gently stretch through fingers and wrists. And kind of like in a Goldilocks, not too hot, not too cold kind of way. See if you can feel the balance between the stretching through the wrists and fingers, the relaxing of the shoulders and elbows. And come to a balance, a stasis. We did start a little late, but we'll make sure we give full time to breathing and relaxation to help the quality of our Tai Chi learning. So do your deep breath. Any other Neikong important points you might remember from last unit for another 90 seconds or so. And this is beginner class, so if that seems like a lot at some point, if you're straining to hold it, it's okay. Come out of it for a second, reset, get back into it. Circle the arms up, breathe in. Push palms down, breathe out. All right. Let's continue our warm-up with some review of the moves that we've covered so far in this unit. Let's do them first and then we'll talk about them after that. Step left, sink. Step. Sink a bit more. Commencement. Let the arms float up, lead with the wrists. Fingers stretch. Then sink wrists, sink elbows, lower the hands down. Ward off right, turn to the right, pivot on the heel. Form a circle with the arms, right hand on top. Shift. This is now ward off left, shift, release the other heel. Step in, step out, heel toe. Shift to the left, turn, switch the hands, turn to right. Ward off right, turn to the left, form a circle with the arms, left hand on top, release the right heel, step in, step out towards the seating area, shift to the right, turn to the right, turn the left toes in, switch the hands, good. Pull back and press, turn to the right, left hand by right elbow, shift back, turn to the left, let the left hand circle down, back, and around. Coming around to meet the right wrist, form support, turn to the front, shift forward and press. And finally, for us for now, push, follow through, shift back, sink elbows, shift forward, push. Okay, it was a little slower than our normal class pace, but review and getting familiar with them again. Let's do it one more time from the top. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back and press. Push. Okay, release. Further review, let's go from our ward off left, just to do those moves we covered new last class. Ward off right, pull back, press, push. A little more instruction, one more time. See if you can get into your ward off left. And if you're watching at home and you don't know how to do that, from a shoulder width, I've stepped my left foot forward, turned my right toes out, shifted my weight forward, rounded my left arm out like the dance partner, right hand down by the side. That's our starting position for these review of moves from last class. And I said most of the instruction, but I'll say it one more time, turn to the left, form a circle with the left hand on top. You'll feel the right heel release. Sink down, step in with the right, step out with the right, heel toe towards the seating area, double dragons, foot placement. Shift to the right, turn to the right, switch the hands, turn the left toes in. And now your double dragons, ward off right, towards the right wall of your area. Pull back and press, turn a little more, the left hand will end up by the right elbow. Shift back, turn to the left, let the left hand circle down, back and around. Coming to meet the right wrist, turn to the front, shift forward, press, and push, follow through, shift back, sink elbows, shift forward, push, and release. Okay, so if you have any questions at home about the review moves, send them. I'm always happy to go back and review for anyone who's watching, and it's important enough for them to ask. I'm definitely going to answer. So, do you have any questions in the room, sir, on any of that?
No, sir.
No?
Feels pretty good.
Excellent. Yeah. What I saw looked good. So, good job. Okay. Let's go straight to our new move then. It's challenging enough to warrant the rest of class, probably. Not probably, it is. So let's do single whip a bunch. Similar to my instructions for getting into ward off left, we have some instructions for getting into push. A lot of it will sound the same with the side flip facing a different way, and a lot of that being the lower body. So turn to the right, pardon me, of your area, shoulder width apart. Turn your left toes out 45 degrees. Step your right foot straight forward, shift forward into the push position. And if there are a few things that if they're not quite right in your push position, the single whip will never be right. And even if you do it quote unquote correctly, it'll end up wrong because you started from the wrong place. So one of those would be make sure you're not on a tightrope. Make sure you kept your shoulder width when you stepped out to your double dragons. I'm going to move my position, stay where you are. I'm just going to move to center on camera a little. There you go. Let's see, what else could make single whip harder here? That's the main one, is that shoulder width. If my arms are already straight, the next part is not going to really make sense, so make sure the elbows are sunk. And let's go from there. Shift back and allow the arms to straighten. See why? Yeah. Turn to the left. And when you do, turn the right toes in what feels like extremely at first. We want to get them to where they're pointing to the front of your area, so they turn 90 degrees. And go ahead and do a quick check. Like I always say, you don't want to watch your feet, but you do have to learn to get your feet to the right place when you're getting the Tai Chi down. You'll keep turning to the left. Shift to the right. Form a circle with the arms, right hand on top, and a beak. And the beak is just the fingers and the thumb together with the wrist flexed. So fingers, thumb together, wrist flexed. And I know you can't see this at all at home or in here, so we'll show it from different angles in a second. Now turn to the left, release the left heel, and that turn will start to extend your beak out. It's not quite out all the way though. Sink down, step in with your left foot, and step back, heel toe. Shift to your left, lift the left hand, turn to your left, and let the right toes turn in. At the end, your left palm, it's like your left palm is facing your new forward, this direction. The fingers would be just below your shoulder. The right beak is kind of just above the right shoulder. So they're not exactly level as far as from the ground. They are balanced, though, compared to the rest of the posture. And release. Single whip. Relatively complicated compared to the things we've done so far in this section, but not so complicated that you won't get if you keep persisting into practice. So let's do it a couple more times from push. Try your best to get back into it. The same. Hold there for just a second. Make sure you feel 60 or 70% of your weight on the front leg. Ah, good. Yeah, shift forward just a little more. Just a little more. There you go. Yeah. So, with the student in the room right now, I'm watching from the side and saying shift forward a little more until this knee is coming just about to where that toe is from the side and no farther, no further. It's not a hard rule, but if you've done Tai Chi for a while and you can look at someone and help them get into it, because you can't always feel how far you're sunk into your front leg. So that gives you a good distance to shift, a good front leg to shift off of, I should say. Let's do it a couple more times. Shift back, allow the arms to straighten. Turn to the left, turn the right toes in extremely. Keep turning to the left. Turn to the right, I should say shift to the right, form a circle with the arms, beak on, right hand on top in a beak. And there's a bit of a turn to the right, but it can overturn, so sometimes I won't even bring that up. It kind of feels like you just shifted to the right and made a circle. Turn to the left, release the left heel. You should kind of feel like you're starting to face that way you're gonna go right now. Sink down, step in, step back, heel toe. Shift to the left, lift the left hand, turn to the left, and right toes in. And we'll talk about the details if you can't see. Well, we'll say it right now. The left toes are pointing forward, the right toes are turned out 45 degrees, which might sound familiar from the other places we've started today. All right, let's release and do it one more time. When you're learning these moves for the first time, be very slow and deliberate and pay attention to as much of the details as you can. There's a lot to pay attention to. So back, let the arms straight. Turn to the left, turn the right toes in a lot. Keep turning to the left, shift to the right, form a circle with the arms, beak on top. Turn to the left, release the left heel. Sink down, step in, step back, heel turn. Shift to the left, lift the left hand, turn to the left, turn the right toes. Release. Okay, shake it out. Man, you guys have done a lot of practice so far. You've just been practicing nonstop. Take a little break while I talk and demonstrate. I'm going to flip it around 180. If you'd like to come closer, you don't have to stay quite as far back, but as long as you're just not walking into the shot. Yeah, so. Okay, so let's flip it around 180 so you can see everything, well, a lot of things that you couldn't see from the other side. So, here we go. Okay, that was pretty robotic, a little broken down. Let me go a little more smoothly without losing any of the sort of beginner details that we need. Okay, so I can get into common mistakes right away, or we can do questions. Is there a question, comment, or suggestion?
Would you just refresh my memory about at the end time, the placement of each of the hands? I believe the beak, well, I just would rather you say it than me just guess wrong.
Sure. Yeah, so the question is, can I hear again the placement of the hands at the end? Right?
Yes, sir.
And let me turn it around. So if you were in class, you would see it kind of from the side or coming at you. Let me turn it around coming at you, and I'll do it one more time and then answer it as well.
Sure.
So this is, it's kind of a funny starting position for me to start away from the camera, but it'll make sense. You get sometimes you only get the martial intent when it's pointed at you for some reason. So, I can't see it in the mirror right now, but hopefully from your perspective, the tip of my fingers comes just below my shoulder there. And in my left arm, I feel a lot of that sink elbow. And it's both arms, but in the left arm especially, I feel that sink shoulder drop elbow, almost like I was in another push.
Yes, sir. Okay.
The right feels very different than push. It's like if I had extended that wrist all the way out, and then from there I relaxed my shoulder and elbow a bit. So hopefully from there it's just a bit above my shoulder.
Yes, sir.
If you follow the open and closed and you're into that whole, well, this may not be beneficial, but hey, why not? So it might feel like the left side of your body is pretty closed off, and it might feel like the right side of your body is very open.
Okay.
It's a little song.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Does that answer your question, Matthew?
It does. It's perfect.
Cool. Let's see. Let me do common mistakes, so I'll pretend that people watching at home are saying or doing these things or asking about them. So the first one is the step towards the end, and what could happen, and what will happen to most people when they do this move first. I'll come back to this posture, this position. Is they'll come around to here, and then when they step, they just step out, and then when they shift and then turn, they're on that dreaded tightrope. It's not that dreaded, but you do want to avoid being on a tightrope, pardon me, most of the time in Tai Chi. So you'll hear me say step back, and it's really out depending on which way you think of it. So in the original orientation, you know, once I'm here, if I feel like I'm facing that way, it's stepping out, but most people will feel like they're kind of facing this way still, and it's kind of a step back. All you want is to be at that shoulder width in the end. That's the only reason we say step back. So that's the number one common mistake. Besides just getting the parts out of order, there are a lot of pieces that have to happen in order for the move to work correctly. So maybe there's questions about the beak. I don't know if you could see the detail from far away. Hopefully it's too close. So let me do a close up where you can see the beak. There's the beak. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's another common mistake on this one, and that's the shift back, lean back. There's a little bit of this in push too, but from here, don't shift and lean back. You'll feel your balance go over, and then you can't turn with balance. So when you shift, it's almost like you're just moving your body away from your hands, and you might feel just a slight lean forward in the upper body. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions on it? Comments, suggestions?
Really good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Oh man, time flies when you're single whipping and when you start late. So let's practice single whip bunch. At least a few times for now. About 100 times to get this. Shift back, begin. Let the arms straighten like you shifted away from the hands. Turn to the left. Turn the right toes in a lot. Shift to the right. Form the circle with the arms, right on top. Turn to the left. Sink down, step in, step back. Shift to the left, lift the left hand, turn to the left. Turn the right toes in. So how to check yourself? Well, first see, are the feet pointed the right way? Are my left toes pointed in this direction to the left side of the screen? Are my right toes 45, so right between the left side of the screen and the screen? That's the main one. Check the arms. If I were there, I would probably come and push your shoulder and elbow down a little bit, maybe. So it's very good. Yeah. Are you set?
Self-check. I just pretend you push on me.
Imagine that. In the black sash, we get real. It's almost like corporal punishment. You remember. Shift back. Arms straight. Turn to the left. Right toes come in a lot. Keep turning. Shift to the right. Form a circle with the arms. In the beak on top. Turn to the left. Step in. Step back. Shift to the left. Lift the left hand. Turn. Left turn. Okay, one more time together. Begin. Shift. Return. Shift. Turn. Circle. Turn. Release. Step. Shift. Lift. Turn. You know, let's do it one more time, just for a little extra practice on this move. And begin. Single whip. No instruction this time. Just do your best to remember everything that happens. Relax through it. Okay. If you've seen, I guess I can call it a classic now. If you've seen the classic movie, The Matrix, this is one of the postures that happens in their little kung fu learning montage. White Crane is the other one, I believe. It's cool to see a little martial arts choreography get into movies.
It's a very cinematic move because it's big arms, you know. Like
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, for sure. And that's, you know, when you learn Tai Chi, that's really the best. I follow, like, I get into my own Tai Chi a little too much. I'll relax and it'll get a little, what we call internal. And I have to remind myself that for people to learn Tai Chi, it's best for it to be a bit big and external so you can see what eventually becomes compressed, or not compressed, but smaller circles. Right? If that made no sense to you, don't worry about it. We'll focus on breathing, stepping, and that's really the important stuff right now. Speaking of, let's go from the top. We're going to go over a few minutes for basic training, so let's go from the top. Since we started the last class, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go from the top. I'll say the names. You don't have to say them back. You can if you want to at home, but I'm going to say no need because let's just focus on movements. Here we go. Again, step left. happen to find yourself ahead of me, it's okay. Just relax and try to hold where you are until I get there. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back and press. Push. Single whip. Give it your best, don't worry. All right, how was it? Ringing a bell?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Let's leave it at that for basic training right now. If you have any questions about any of that, then you're watching, send it to me and I will try to answer it as best I can until we see each other in person again. So let's bow out our basic training. For black sash training, we're going to have some 10 important points, which is great stuff for improving your Tai Chi and getting the essence of Tai Chi beyond where the hands and the feet and the hips and every other part of the body goes. We follow the 5 parts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility.
Proud to Senior Head Instructor.
Thank you, sir. Bow to beginner students everywhere. Anyone else watching? All right, basic training dismissed.